Everyone. I'd like everyone to please make sure they're muted. Okay. Today is March 17th, 2026. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
I only care to hear from the members, no offense, but thank you. Are all of our members on? Dave, are you on? Dave? Cam? I see you on. Thank you. Jerry? Yeah. Okay, we're going to give everyone another minute or two to get on, then we'll get started.
Hello?
Hi, Dave, is that you?
Yes, I'm on the phone right now because I'm having trouble logging in. I'll
Okay,
continue
no
to try
problem.
to log in with my computer, but
No problem. Take
in
your
the
time.
meantime, I'll be on here.
I think
Okay.
Jerry's on. There's Jerry's on now. Scott, are you on?
I'm here.
Great, Scott. Scott. And Ian. Scott and Ian. Waiting for two more. Hey, Jerry.
Hi. I would like to be part of that Emerald Road discussion.
Okay, I'll put you on the list.
Thank you.
I'm waiting for Scott and Ian to join us. We'll give them another minute.
I'm going away April 5th for about 10 days, so
Okay.
know that too.
We won't book anything during that time. I see Max is on. Hey, Max, are you there?
Yes. How are you?
You listening in, Max? How are you?
No problem.
We haven't seen you in a while. Okay, Scott, are you on? Let me check in with them by email and see if maybe they had some problems. Let me see if we don't have any problem here. Let's see. Oh. We're waiting for Scott. Cam, do you have Scott's number? Can you give him a call?
I'm here.
Oh, you're on. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Okay, I was waiting for you.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah.
Okay, good. Hi, Scott.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you? And where's
Good.
Ian? I saw him logging in.
I'm here.
There you are. Hi, Ian.
How you
How are
doing?
you?
Good,
Good.
good. Thank you.
We have two new members tonight, and today. And so everyone, let's get started. It's 3:06 p.m. Today is March 17th, 2026. And my name is Jocelyn Campbell, and I'm Chair of the Nahant Zoning Board of Appeals. We have three hearings on today. We'll be as quick as we can with these, but give them the best attention that we can. This meeting is being recorded. If anyone objects to that, you should log off now. It is being recorded by the town of Nahant. This is our first time using this particular forum. Usually we use another Zoom account. This one is a new one for us. And so the first thing I want to say is what we're going to do is we're going to go through each hearing, and I'll announce the matter that has been published in the Lynn item. The first hearing today is regarding 75R Bass Point Road. It's a petition filed by Stephen Cleary, owner of the property at 75 Bass Point Road, Nahant, seeking relief from an order of zoning enforcement and a special permit. The petitioner appeals the town of Nahant's Inspectional Service Department's order to remove a shed placed on his property or to move it to a dimensionally compliant location. Failure to do so would result in a $300 per day fine beginning January 14, 2026. The building commissioner issued the order on December 22nd in response to a zoning enforcement complaint. And it says also here that any zoning relief that may be required in adherence to the Nahant zoning bylaws shall be considered by the board. Today's board members hearing this particular matter are David Walsh, Jerry Raphael, Scott O'Frias, Ian Brown, and myself, Jocelyn Campbell. There are other members on the Zoom, but they're here for later matters, but not, those are the ones hearing this particular matter. So we're going to hear first from the applicant, Mr. Cleary, or your representative. If you're available, if you could unmute yourself, and we look forward to hearing from you.
I'm here. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes. Hi, Mr. Cleary.
Great. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Pleased to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Why don't you tell us what you're looking for today? What can we do for you?
All right. So I have a shed that is already in my yard. I had applied for a temporary permit as well as a special permit. It's larger than the standard 80 square foot shed that the town allows. I do have two single family homes on this lot. And the 80 square feet is insufficient for all of the stuff we have to store here with two single family homes. So we were hoping to put a larger shed on the property to accommodate all the items we have to store. Some of you may know or may not know the standard allowed square footage in most of the state of Massachusetts is the 200 square foot shed, which is the size this one is. And in Nahant, from 2011 to 2018, 200 square feet was the limit, but it got reduced in 2018 down to 80 square feet. In terms of the setbacks, because this property is a non-conforming property, it's got two houses. All of the houses nearby are on the property lines or very close to the property lines, close to the street. It's just the way things were done when these were all built. So I'm looking to maintain the character of the property and place the shed in a similar position as the structures that are already here.
Okay. All right. So before we get into, do you have anything else more to add to that? Or is that it? Well said.
I didn't hear you, I'm sorry.
Are you done? Or do you have any more to say?
No, I think I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, great. Does the board have any questions for the applicant? Yeah, I do, so I'll start with one since I'm already talking. Mr. Cleary, did you know the size requirement for Nahant when you applied for your permit?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I've actually been in touch with, back when Wayne was the building inspector, I reached out to him. He and I have been communicating since 2018 when I moved in. So I reached out to him months and months ago and just said, you know, hey, I've got two houses here. I need more space. You know, what's the process? What should I do? So he let me know that the limit was 80 square feet. And, you know, I'd asked, can I have two 80 square foot sheds, you know, one for each house? And he said, no, the thing to do is apply. You'll be denied because it exceeds the size, and then apply for a special permit. So that's the process I followed.
Okay, but you bought the shed knowing that, correct? Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I applied for a temporary building permit to have the shed here. I've got some renovations going on, and I wanted a place to keep the building material together.
All right, I'll see if any of the other members have any questions. Any of the members have any questions?
I got
Okay.
one question. This is David Walsh. I think I'm online now.
You are. I see you.
Okay.
You are, Dave.
So presently where this shed is, I know it's in a box.
We've got, David, I think maybe you've got your phone on and your computer at the same time. Could you mute one of them?
Okay.
Okay.
Everyone should be muted unless they're speaking. Okay. Go ahead, Dave.
All right. I just muted that.
Thank you.
Is the plan to have this side of 75?
Mr. Clary, could you answer that?
I didn't hear the question. Could you repeat it, please?
Sure. I see the shed on the property. Is the plan to have it permanently installed right on the property line where it's close to now?
Yeah, very close to where it is now. The plan calls for 6 feet from the property line between myself and the goods, and 5 feet to the closest point on the street, which the goods house next door and the lots on the other side are both, against the property lines on both sides. So it's sort of in keeping with where my house is. The shed is on the same plane as that, a little further away actually than the house is from the property line.
Any other further questions?
Okay. Not right now.
Okay. If there are no other further questions, I'm going to ask for public comment. Is there anyone here who would like to speak in favor or in opposition to this matter? Are there any persons here who would like to speak in regarding 75 Bass Point Road? We did receive letters in support from Candace Cahill at 50 Breezy Hill Terrace, Elizabeth and Douglas Cronin at 16 Roland Avenue, and Lauren Fabrucci. There was no address for her, but I'll try and figure out her address. So we have 3 letters in support, and there's no opposition. I'm not hearing any. Hearing none, then what we'll do, Mr. Cleary, is we're going to go into our deliberations now and talk about this matter. So, members of the board, with David, Jerry, Scott, Ian, and myself, we're going to talk amongst ourselves, and that means that we should not be interrupted, but we'll let the applicant know if we have any questions. And so, I just want to say what's on my mind is right off the bat. I know the applicant mentioned a few zoning bylaws in their application. One of them, I want to mention that the accessory use as a shed, and he did mention the setback average for the properties. I want to just point out that that only applies to houses, not to accessory buildings. And also that the, we can only grant special permits that we have permission to grant in the bylaws. Does anybody have anything else they want to add to that?
So when you have a shed, don't you normally have a 10-foot side setback?
Well, our bylaws, David, say that we can put a shed in the setbacks. We can, if it's
Within the set-
under 80 square feet and has under 8 feet in height.
All right, but this one is more than 80 square feet, correct? It's 200 square feet.
Yes.
So it's a 10 by 20 from what I'm reading here. So
Correct.
don't we have setbacks for something that large?
We do.
Okay. And what are our setbacks? Aren't they 10 feet from the side?
Yes. David, you seem to be coming in and out a little bit.
Is that correct?
I couldn't hear last
Side
time you said
setback would be
you're
10.
coming and going. I'm sorry. Say it one more time.
Okay. So are we going to require a 10-foot setback?
Well, David, first of all, let's ask ourselves what kind of building is this?
So there's a lot of
So if
breaking
it's
up
an-
here. I'm not sure. I got an
Okay.
unstable network.
If it's an accessory building,
Yeah, I don't know. It's in the hunt, but all right. So I guess what is 10 by 20 shed?
yes. David, you might want to be better off calling back using the phone. We'll do without your picture. Might be able to hear you better. David?
Jocelyn,
Yes.
I recuse myself from this meeting.
Oh, sorry, you did. Okay, Cam.
Yeah, because it's my direct neighbor.
All right, Cam, you're the one that's on this one. I'm sorry. I can't hear you, Cam, either. Want to try calling in, maybe? We don't usually have any technical difficulties like this, so I'm kind of surprised. So usually we are pretty on point. It's all right. Give us a call, Cam, if you can. It might be easier. All right. Scott or Ian, did you have any questions while we're waiting for Cam to come back in?
Look like Scott unmuted first. You go ahead.
I don't have any questions, Ian, so I can defer to you.
Okay.
Oh, so my understanding is that per the state of Massachusetts, this is considered a shed because it is 200 square feet or less, but according to our bylaws, it's not because it's greater than 80 square feet.
Well, it's a shed. Whether it's a shed or not, Ian, is like neither. It's being called a shed,
Semantic. Okay.
right? And it's greater than what we can allow for a shed.
It's greater than what we can allow for a shed. So
Correct.
we're trying to figure out if the rules for sheds apply to this or not.
I think where David was going with this is whether if it doesn't fit into the shed, configuration, is there some other way that it could be allowed. He's looked like he was looking to the accessory buildings, but he lost his connection, I believe. So we'll wait for him to give us a call. He'll probably be calling in, and I know Cam will as well. So I will talk about that in a minute when they do. But
Okay.
do you have any other questions about this?
So if it does qualify as a shed and sheds are allowed to be put within the setbacks, does that mean that we can't grant a special permit because that's allowed, or does that mean that we can grant a special permit because that's allowed? That's what
Well,
I'm,
we wouldn't be able to grant a special permit for something, any shed that was greater than 80 square feet,
okay.
because the bylaws don't allow us to do that. We can only give special permits for things that the bylaws tell us we can.
Okay. And
We can't just make it up, yeah,
we can't give a special permit for a shed that's greater than 80 square feet if
correct.
they want to put it within the setbacks. That
That's
is
my opinion, correct.
okay.
Right, that's the only time you can put something in the setback is when it's a shed does not exceed that size.
That does not exceed that
That's
size.
what bylaws say, correct.
So if it can be classified as something other than a shed, it could possibly fall underneath a special, or a special permit could be granted for it
If
to
we
be
have
within the
permission to do
setbacks.
so in the bylaws,
Yes, okay.
or there's some other method. But for example, Chapter 40A, Section 6.
Okay.
If all of the attendees could just kind of bear with us, we have two brand new members tonight. And so David and Cam, are you both on now?
Yeah, I'm on.
I am
Thanks.
back on the phone. Yes.
I don't know why I've been on Zoom all day. I'm not sure what's going on, but I guess what I was trying to say earlier is, it strikes me that this is not a tremendously objectionable project, but it's like a square peg round hole situation where this is something that even with tolerances supported by the community, it doesn't strike me to be a zoning bylaw other than a variance that might permit this because it's bigger than an accessory dwelling and doesn't get the leeway provided for in the setbacks because it's so big. So it strikes me that this is down the variance path.
I agree, Cam. I don't see a special permit path for it, but there's no reason, there's nothing in the bylaws that says that we can do that. David, what do you think?
I agree also. I've been looking at it from a special permit thing, and I believe there's something wrong here if we can't just allow it to be not deal with any setbacks at all and just put it, on the left side of a property line. First of all, I was trying to find sheds that were 200 square feet, but I don't know that we even have something like that in our bylaws.
I haven't seen
But
one.
it's not an ADU, correct? It's only
Correct.
it's
No, it's
only a
only
shed.
a shed only, yeah, shed.
Okay, and only to be used as a shed.
That's what it looks like. That's all I've seen in the application. It doesn't appear to be
Okay.
attached to the buildings as well. So we don't
Right.
have that issue. And so as an accessory building, it doesn't fit the requirements of granting a special permit inside the setback because it's too large.
Is this originated from a citizen complaint relative to enforcement, and then this is an appeal of that enforcement that the commissioner sided with, right?
Well, it's really two things, because according to the commissioner's letter, Cam, that was with the application packet that went out to everyone, it says that on September 18th, the applicant applied for a building permit to place a temporary storage shed on the property. And October 28th, the building department sent a letter denying the building permit because according to the application, the temporary shed was proposed in a location that was not compliant with required zoning dimensions. And then on December 8th, the building department received a complaint for enforcement from a neighbor. So
Okay.
it's really two things at once. And so, we always try to allow everything that we can, but I just was kind of racking my brain figuring out how can we possibly do this. I drove by it, like Cam said, it's not particularly objectionable in terms of appearance. And it's a good sized lot, with the 10,000 square feet. Maybe there's a way if he were to withdraw to do something else. Just thinking like if there's any relief that we could provide him.
Well, I mean, I guess my question was, you know, we have the letters of support. I took a look and, you know, it, like I said, it doesn't appear to be that objectionable, but this did stem from someone actually going so far as to file a complaint with the town. And that person, I don't believe, is on the call. I'd be really curious to know what it was about this that caused them to do that in the first place, whether it's, you know, some type of sightline issue or some sort of hazard they perceive, because, you know, looking at these lots, I mean, it does have, you know, I'd want to discuss it, but it does have some of the elements and criteria. I think we're edging towards the variance, but I'd really like to know what was the genesis of that original complaint to determine what that hazard might be.
Right. And so
I am here.
Okay, the applicant.
Oh, you
who
are
made
here.
the complaint is here. Okay, why don't you tell us what your concerns were with the application, sir?
Well,
And say your name, please, and your address.
yeah, my name's Robert Liebman. I'm at 10 Rollins Ave. I live next door to the lot.
Okay.
And actually, the reason why it was actually proactive for me, because where he had a big blue storage container on that property before it was moved, and I thought that he was going to put this shed where that blue storage container which was abutting my deck, my home, and so I didn't want it there. And the twins that live on the other side of them certainly don't want it where it is now, because for one reason, it caused a huge snowdrift there during that last big storm that we had. They're not here because I think one of them had some heart surgery, and they're not. His truck wasn't there today, so I think that's why they're not here today.
Okay.
But I was being proactive, and then when I got to the town and found out that he had wanted a permit, and then the town denied it, and then he put it there anyways, well, then I was even more concerned. So that's why this whole thing was brought about.
Okay. So we really have we have the two issues here. One is the complaint from the neighbor, and the other is the fact that the building permit was denied, and the shed, you know, is larger than it's supposed to be, and is in the setbacks, and it's not supposed to be there. So
If I could,
the building commissioner
This is
asked
Steve.
us that move it to a dimensionally compliant location. And did you want to say anything more about that? Or David?
this is query. Yeah, I'd like to comment. Two things. One is,
Excuse me, sir. Okay, wait, hold on for a second, Mr. Cleary, okay? The members are discussing the matter now, okay? So hold on for a second. We'll be with you in a minute, okay? So
Sure.
the rest of the members, Cam, David, did you have anything you wanted to add to that?
No, that was helpful. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, I guess clarification I'm looking for now is if this shed were an 8x10 shed, an 80 foot square shed, would we allow it under a special permit if the setbacks were proper?
We could. The bylaws allow us
We
to
could.
do that. We could grant a special permit to put it even in the rear setback inside the 10 feet, according to the bylaws. Because if it's under the 80 square feet, we can do that.
Okay. By being 200 square feet, what is that doing? Is that taking it out of the special permit realm?
David, I don't see how anything that says that we can issue a special permit for an accessory building that's inside a setback. Do you?
I haven't found any, no, and that's why I'm asking. So if this 200 square foot shed were set 10 feet from the lot line and was set back from the front, was it 15 feet? Does that become allowable under a special permit?
Well, David, I don't know. Good question.
I don't know, Jocelyn, I think that this is a scenario that presents itself, especially given that one of the neighbors, there's two neighbors that are particularly affected. I think this strikes me as a situation that might benefit from an opportunity for these neighbors to come together and perhaps see if there's a way that both neighbors can support a project like this before we kind of go down the road of whether or not this fits the criteria of a variance, and then maybe come back to the board with a proposal that is satisfactory to the neighbors that have the two chief concerns. Also, hearing that one of the neighbors might be ill who would have otherwise been in attendance today gives me pause to make any type of definitive ruling.
I would agree, Cam. My next thing was going to suggest that we either offer to have him withdraw the matter, and we have to all agree upon that, of course, or to continue the matter. And so, does anyone have any feelings about that? I think a continuance is better because of the fact that there's no additional payment.
I would prefer to just continue it when, I would agree with Cam, but other people can agree, that they're all in harmony with what is going on, and make sure that the left of butter, who's most affected by this, has an opportunity to speak.
Right, I agree. 100%.
I think they would want. I think they would want to speak as well, because I know that they definitely do not want it where it is, or even close to where it is right now. It's right on their property line. They look out their window and that's what they see is the side of that building. I know that they would have been, well, they're twins. Like I said, one of them had some heart surgery. So, and I don't know how, when you say continue it, it's been since the complaint was filed, it's been 3 months. I don't know how
just
much
so you
longer.
know, right, we don't like the fact that it takes so long as well. But once someone files the application, we are forced to wait 35 days till we can schedule the hearing.
Oh, no, I totally understand it, but
we don't have any choice over that.
Right, but now you do have a choice, because now you're talking about a continuance. So I just don't want continuances to be 3 months down the road again.
Right, but we don't do that. We have to pick a certain date, and our next hearing is in 2 weeks. So,
I think you kind of, just say to that comment about the continuance, you can't really speak for other people that aren't here and then ask for not a continuance.
Oh, no, I'm just wanted the continuance to be within a reasonable amount of time. It really has less to do with me now because of where it is. I mean, I don't know what, if Steve had come over to me and said, hey, I'm putting this shed here, and he ended up putting where it is right now, I never would have filed the complaint to begin with.
Okay. All right. So I think that's everybody. All the members have had an opportunity to speak, unless Scott or Ian have anything more to say. And we've already talked to the complainant. So Mr. Cleary, let's talk to you for a minute now. Are you available still? Ms. Cleary, are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah,
what we're talking about doing is, because we really can't come to a decision quite now, we're missing some neighbors here that one of the complainants said that, really should be here. And the members agree. You can either withdraw your matter without prejudice and bring it back again, but that would require you to reapply and pay again, or we can continue the matter. Our next hearing is in 2 weeks, and we can add it to the end of that hearing for a brief hearing to decide whether we're going to, deny this matter, allow it, or what have you. Which would you prefer?
I'd like to make a comment first,
Sure,
and that is that I have a letter of support from the goods, and it was provided to the town. I don't know why it wasn't mentioned. Rob, the person that complained, is referring to the goods as if they're against it. That they're not against it. I have a letter in writing that states they're all for it in the location it's in. I'd be happy to try that. I spoke with Walter Good before the shed came. I talked to him exactly about where I wanted to put it and what my plan was, and he was completely on board. He is the brother of the two twins that Mr. Liedman is referring to.
Okay. All right. So we, at this time, though, we need to move on to our next matter. And we're going to offer to either continue the matter or for you to withdraw the matter. We'll take a look at that letter once we receive it, okay? We haven't received it yet.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I'd like a continuance.
Okay,
That
great.
letter was submitted yesterday to the town.
Okay, and they're busy, I'm
Go
sure
on.
it'll be sent over as soon as possible. Once we get it, we'll
Sounds good.
give it to all the members to make sure everybody has it, okay? All
Sounds
right, so we're
great.
gonna do this, we're gonna continue this matter until March 31st. And the time will be March 31st at, it's gonna be 4 o'clock, okay?
Jocelyn, do we need a motion to do that?
Yes, we do.
Or is that,
Yes.
We-
We need a motion.
okay. I'll move that we continue this hearing to 4 p.m. on Tuesday, March 31st.
Okay, all those in
Second.
favor? Seconded by Cam.
Aye.
All in favor?
I, David
David.
Walsh.
Aye, Scott O'Frias, I'm in favor.
Aye, Ian Brown.
I can, Merrill.
And Jocelyn Campbell. Okay, great. That matter's been continued, and thank you very much for your time. Okay, so the next matter that we have in front of us today is for 10 Fallon Way. Are all the parties present for that matter today?
Yes, we are.
Great, great. It is
I have a
3:37 p.m.
I have a PowerPoint presentation. Can you share the screen?
I will in just a moment. First, we have to get started.
Okay,
Okay?
sorry.
All right.
All right.
So the members that are hearing this matter today are going to be a little bit different than last time. So on this matter, we're going to have, if my memory is correct, Dave Walsh. We're going to have Cam Merrill, Jerry Raphael, and Scott O'Frias, and myself. And Ian, you can stay on, listen in. All right, so this matter is regarding a petition filed by Jean Allen, architect, on behalf of Luigi and Maria Arciano, owners of the property at 10 Fallon Way, Nahant. The petitioners seek a special permit for the demolition and reconstruction of an existing single-family home on the same footprint. The Office of the Building Inspector denied the building permit on December 10th, 2025, where the proposed project is in violation of Section 703 of the zoning bylaws of Nahant, where it states that no structure may be removed, relocated, reconstructed without a special permit. Any zoning relief that may be required may be or considered by the board. Okay, yeah, 3:38 p.m. We're going to get started. And the first thing that's going to happen is we're going to ask that the applicant or the representative, which I believe is going to be the architect here, and is going to present their case. Then we'll have an opportunity to ask questions. We'll ask for public comment, and then we'll deliberate the matter. All right, so this must be the architect, Jean Allen. Hi, how are you?
Thank you.
Are your clients here today too?
Yes, they are.
So Luigi and Maria are
Lu-
here. Okay.
Hi, I am
We
Maria.
do. And Maria Asino.
Okay, great. Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Want to make sure. All right, great. All right, so if you'd like to get going, I'll share my screen with you. Jean, where are you, Jean? Let me see. Do a share. And
Can you see the screen?
just give me a second, because this is, like I said, the
Okay.
first time I've used this particular one. Choose individual windows, blah, blah. When I use my own account, I can do it so easily. All right, there's the share screen. Can you try and share your screen? I think you should be able to now. Okay,
I think it's working now.
great, great.
Okay, excellent. See if I can get this. Hello, my name is Jean Allen. I'm with JMA Architects. I'm here on behalf of Luigi and Maria Acerno to present their application for a special permit. Project summary: Luigi and Maria Acerno would like to demo and reconstruct their single-family home located at 10 Fallon Way in order to accommodate the needs of their young family. They are the guardians of their grandchildren. They have two small grandchildren and that they are responsible for and that live with them currently. The proposed reconstructed home would be built on the existing footprint. As determined by the zoning enforcement officer, the planned construction will require the following permit under the Nahant from the Board of Appeals under section 7.03.C.5 non-conforming uses, structures, and lots. This is a view from the south. The existing home was constructed in 1900, is 600 square feet, has 4 rooms, and that includes 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. You can see where the steps are, that's the front entry into the house, and it overlaps Fallon Way, and that's actually Lower Fallon Way, and then behind the house is Upper Fallon Way. So there's a paper street that goes right across their property. This is a view from the north. The structure was built on a flowing directly against and into the house. Here's another view from the south. The upper fence where the arrow is pointing, that the base of that fence is at elevation 40 and the corner elevation of the house is at 34. So it's a very steep drop along the back side. Let's see. This is looking at the same corner, and the shrubs have been removed. And there's a thicket along the back there. And there's continual runoff, continual water infiltration issues, and nothing has been constructed to divert the flow of water. You know, there's a thicket that's planted there that slows down on some of the runoff, but there's still a trim on the hill and against the house. This is the front of the house with the front steps on that are directly onto Fallon Way. One of the design goals is to relocate the front entry and remove these steps off the street. You can see the foundation of the house. Let's see. Here's a photo of part of the foundation. It's just a combination of different materials, brick, rubble, concrete block, sort of slathered together with mortar. Inside the basement, this is looking at the east-facing wall against the hill, and you can see where there's been a tremendous amount of water infiltration and a lot of cracking to the foundation. The foundation is structurally not intact, and the inside of the house, this is looking inside of the house. At one point, there was a fire, and you can see the charred area of the roof deck, and the rafters were charred to a great extent. And rather than reframe and remove and reframe the roof, they just sistered on new framing members and just left everything damaged, but they just covered it up with new framing. This is a view looking at the corner of the east wall where the water and the mud and the soil is actually coming in through the house. Existing conditions, the proposed home would be a continuance of the pre-existing non-conforming conditions. The house is no change of use. Area of lot allowed is 10,000 square feet. Existing is 1462. Proposed would be the same, 1462. Frontage allowable is 75 feet of frontage. Existing is 40, and we would propose the same, 40. Lot coverage is 25% allowable. Lot coverage in existing conditions is 41%, and we would keep it at 41%. there would be a change. I want to get back to floor area ratio, but regarding building height, we're allowed 30 feet. Existing is 17 feet 6, and we are proposing 26 feet. Number of stories, 2.5 stories are allowed. The existing house has 1 story. We are proposing 2 stories. All of the setbacks, 25 did not change. We would keep the pre-existing non-conforming setbacks. Open space, 40% is allowed, 55% is existing, and 55% is what we would continue. The house is on lot 1. And I just found out from the owner, Luigi, that actually the deed of the property includes a second lot adjacent to this property. If you look at the site plan, this is lot 1 with the house footprint. And then here's the paper street. And this is the other parcel that's included on the deed. And so if you include lot 1 and lot 2, then we would be at 0.45 for floor area ratio. So we would just make it. If we base our calculations only on lot 1, our floor area ratio would be 0.81. So we would be over. I submitted a letter with the calculations, the breakdown of the square feet and what the FAR calculation would be. So if we were able to include the second lot, then we would have enough square footage that we could make the floor area ratio calculation. Zoning impacts of proposed use. Zoning impacts of proposed use. The proposed reconstruction continues pre-existing non-conforming zoning regulations. No changes proposed to pre-existing non-conforming conditions. Given FAR option 2 that we can use the second lot. No changes proposed to pre-existing non-conforming lot area and frontage. No change of use. Zoning relief is requested in order to construct a modest single-family home in a residential neighborhood district to accommodate a small family. New construction home would increase neighborhood property values. These are drawings of the proposed home. The proposed home would have a walkout basement with 2 floors above. The first floor elevation was raised up by 4 feet 7 inches in order to help the runoff issue from the back hillside. And the back foundation, the east-facing foundation, would actually serve as a retaining wall. Here's a cross-section of that condition. There's the basement wall that's retaining all the soil. The grade elevation would be at 35. And the owner, Luigi and Maria, have been working with the owners at 11 Fallon Way to design these shade block retaining wall system. So we'd like at some point we will have those blocks installed, and we've included a stormwater drainage system so that we can keep water out of this back area as much as possible. This is the Fallon Way west-facing elevation. We went with a modernist style. We wanted a flat roof. We didn't want to have a gable end roof because once you add a gable end roof, it just seems like it makes the house appear a lot larger. And so because we wanted a flat roof, we went with the more modern materials and window configurations. And the owners are quite concerned about the whole construction process and how it will impact the neighborhood. So what they would like to propose is that the foundation be demolished. The whole house is demolished. It'll probably take a day and a half to remove all the debris, and then reconstruct a new foundation and backfill it, and then add a manufactured home. So be able to just drop in the home almost, like 90% complete. And that way, by doing a manufactured home, that would cut down on the number of trades that would be, driving in the neighborhood, and that would be needing to park in the neighborhood. So basically, the foundation would be readied, prepped, and then the manufactured home would be hoisted in place. This shows the gutter system on the top, and then on each corner we have downspouts that go into an underground drainage system. And from this drawing, you can see the downspouts at each four corners and the PVC piping that goes to the dry well that would be in the corner of the lot. And then this diagram shows the existing home with the proposed house right next to it, and there's a difference of 8 feet 4 inches in terms of height where the roof lines are. And the floor plan, we have a walkout basement, which is just an HVAC maintenance area. And then the main living level would have a open floor plan kitchen, living and dining area. One room that's an office or a bedroom, and a powder room. On the second floor, we would have a bedroom, one full bath, and a master bedroom. So it's basically a very modest house. We're not looking to build one of these large subdivision houses with 4 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms. It's just basically what a family needs to raise a small family. And here's a perspective view looking up from Fallon Way. In conclusion, the construction of the new home would not be considered detrimental to the neighborhood, as it would solve the water runoff and stormwater issues affecting both number 7 and 10 Fallon Way. The proposed new home would be in keeping with the scale and massing of the general neighborhood context. The proposed home will comply with the highest standards of the current energy conservation requirements as they apply to floor, wall, and ceiling insulation, sealed windows, and mechanical equipment. Proposed home would be an aesthetic improvement to the neighborhood and would increase the neighborhood property values. Maria is on the line, and Luigi, he's on the line also. Do you have any additional comments that you would like to make to this presentation? Maria, is there anything you want to add?
Yes, just one final comment to the presentation that architect Jean just nicely presented here is that we purchased 10 Fallon Way, right? On one deed, we pay one tax bill. It's somewhat unclear why we should be able to build only on one part of that land, considering that, yes, Fallon Way is there as Jean showed us, but it's not a true way.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else you'd like to say? Before we move on.
Luigi, do you have anything you want to say? I guess he doesn't.
No,
Okay,
he
you
may
can
be
stop sharing then. Thank you, Jane.
Yeah.
And we will come back if there's any further questions to that, okay?
Okay.
All right, so members of the board, do you have any questions for the architect or for the homeowners?
I was wondering why they
What
have,
do we consider? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Jay.
I was wondering why they have 2 different site plans. They have a site plan from Thad Barry.
One we did not submit. Right. We didn't submit that. This is the site plan that we submitted showing the dry well. I included the other site plan just for illustration purposes. It shows the parking. We'd like to be able to park 2 cars in that area.
Yeah.
So this wasn't one of the submitted documents.
I'm a little
The
confused.
question is, why wasn't it submitted?
Because it was never completed. It has just part of the information. But it had enough information that I could use for this presentation, but we switched site engineers midstream, and so this was the one that was submitted to the town
But the wall,
with the application.
I don't see the walls in this plan. I only see it on Thad's
Well,
plan.
the wall is not on their property. The wall is on the adjacent property. If you look at this detail, there's the property line.
Hmm.
There's the property line, and there is the block wall.
So may I comment? Is this appropriate time?
We're still in question mode, so sure. Is it Maria?
Yes, Maria, sorry, yes.
Go ahead, before we move on.
To clarify, we were more than willing to pay, pitch in, whatever, to structurally make those walls safe. We hired folks to draw them. We hired folks to provide us information about what would be best to do. And then we found out, well, they're not our wall to fix. They're not a wall to get permits to do. So we stopped there. So this is why that is not included here. We're not looking to do any wall repairs or reconstruction at this time. We are willing, however, to work with our neighbors, because the last thing we want to do is build a new home, right, and then have something come down on it. So again, we did not submit anything requesting any wall work at this time because they're not our walls to reconstruct or fix.
Right.
But Luigi has been working with the neighbor, and they're working together to, they're both going to fund this project to create the block wall. But part one of this project has been to determine what can we do with the house. We're trying to get through the house phase and zoning at this time. Part two of the project will be to address the retaining walls and work with the neighbors on establishing what is required for the retaining walls. But this block wall would be on the neighbor's property and not on Luigi and Maria's property.
Okay. So the other thing is, why wouldn't you combine both of these lots in the Mealer plan before you presented it to us? It's not.
Well, I just recently found out that they are on the same deed because Luigi went to the town hall and spoke with the town, either the town clerk or the town assessor. And she said that the property, it's one deed and it's one property. So it's something that we just realized, but,
So the surveyor would have to have that on the plan as the Mealer plan, right? So it's combined and it shows it being combined.
Just so
Right now-
before we get any further into that conversation, I just want to make sure that everyone is aware that the fact that you have two parcels on one deed makes no difference. They're not contiguous, okay? There's a paper street there. There's a street. Other people have rights in that way, and therefore they do not merge under the merger law. Okay. Just
Okay.
make sure everybody knows that. There's some case law on that I could send you if you're interested.
well, could you use that area as part of the FAR calculation if it's under one deed and it's considered?
No,
No.
you cannot.
Okay. All right. So if you go back to the zoning matrix, then the second lot would not be included, and we would have a floor area ratio of 0.81
Mhm.
in order to do the proposed house.
And just so everybody understands, I mean,
If we could include
the purposes of zoning, are different really than, the derelict fee statute, of course, governs, the ways in front of someone's house. And often, if no fee has been taken, the party who has sold the lot owns to the middle of the land, in the middle of the way. But that doesn't mean that there aren't other rights in the way. And so there's a whole host of case law on this topic. And I can't speak for the whole board. I can only tell you that that's the state of the law, in my opinion. And the board can vote differently if they choose, but that is the law as far as I can see it. Okay.
Okay, is there anything in the laws that would affect our application for a special permit in order to build?
I can't speak to that. We have to talk to the board, the whole board.
Okay.
Okay. That's the decision. So I'm just saying. Okay, so you've given a great presentation though. Looks like you did a nice job. And any more questions for the applicants or for the architect amongst the board members?
I just have a quick question. So I'm presuming that the basement is not going to have finished walls, ceiling, or floors, right? It's just storage.
Correct. Yes, it's just a
All right,
mechanical
just wanted
space, unfinished.
All right, had to hear you say that. And the zoning FAR ratio, you're saying 45%, but I presume it's something slightly over 45 and you rounded down, and that's why it's a nonconformity?
No, if you, without including the second lot, when you calculate it, the floor area ratio with the second floor is 0.81. The
I'm
existing
saying
house,
existing.
the existing is 0.45.
0.3 or something more than that?
0.45.
It's not 45.0, right?
45.0, no, it's 0.45. Okay, the lot is 1,462 square feet.
Mhm.
And 657 square feet floor area is allowed. And the house that we're proposing is 610 square feet. Is there something about that 0.45 that you were
I'm just trying to
wondering
determine
about?
if it's already non-conforming or if this is a new non-conformity, just because that really changes how we look at this. I presume it's already non-conforming, but I don't think we have all the math there. So I'm just trying to figure out what the math is.
Okay. Let's see.
Based on
Pam, it's a 657 divided by the 1462 if you use the existing, correct?
Right. Well, the existing is 600.
657 says here. Oh, it's proposed square footage. Okay.
Ken, it looks like it's 0.457.
Thank you. 0.457. So we have an existing non-conformity. I just wanted to
Because
make sure we
on,
heard that.
Yeah, because
Okay.
based on that
Well,
slide.
the allowed is 0.45 and we have 0.45. You could round it up to 0.45. So that would be in conformance.
I think it benefits you not to be in conformity here. Scott, what did you say it was 0.456?
It looks, I have, can you go back to the other slide? It looks like based on the proposed with lot 2, and the proposed where it says 0.5, if you divide 2,500 or 1,186 by 2,592, you have 0.45756.
And what's the existing square footage?
601.
And that's 0.449.
I see. Okay, so then it's not already non-conforming.
All right. 0.411. Okay. All right. So any further questions on that matter?
No.
Okay. So next we have to go into public comment. And I would like everyone to know that we did receive from, I received a couple of items via email. And one was from Sue Sherry at 6 Wilson Road. It was a geotechnical report. And the other was from Robin DiStefano, 7 James Avenue, and that was an email in opposition. Both matters appeared to be in opposition. And those are on record, and everybody has received a copy of those. And so, Jean, maybe you could shut off your sharing, and we could hear from anyone who would like to speak in favor first of this matter. Any members of the public who would like to speak in favor of this project?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. My name is Carrie Collins, 22 Breezy Hills Terrace. I don't know these people. I'm just curious in town politics. But since there's no one here to say anything for this project, I'm just gonna say this sounds like a great project. As just a layman listening, I don't know why there would be opposition. It sounds pretty basic to let someone grow in Nahant on the land that they purchased. I'm not going to go
All right. Well,
too
thank you very
crazy
much.
about it, but that's just
Thank
my
you.
opinion. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Are there any other persons present who would like to speak in favor of the project? Okay, hearing none. Are there any persons present who would like to speak in opposition of the project?
Yep, I'm Susan Sherry.
Hi.
And
Hi. And I'm Vicky Fortino. We live at 6 Wilson Avenue.
Okay, and you sent in a email and a geotechnical
Right,
report.
yes.
Okay.
I mean, I'll try to do a summary. We own the property that has an 11-foot retaining wall above the vacant lot, the second lot. We had an engineering study, and we oppose the plan for two reasons. One is the total lack of an overall site plan for the whole property. You know, we just saw something that wasn't submitted to the town that involves building new walls, et cetera. And we also oppose because the second story provides extensive obstruction to our water views. We had an engineering study done of the retaining wall. It's stable, well maintained. And the same study said that changes either to the right of way, which also abuts the wall, as well as the vacant lot, unless carefully done and appropriately engineered, could destabilize or jeopardize our wall. And without a site plan, we have no way of knowing what actually might be done with the right of way. I mean, that second plan that was not submitted to the town seems to involve changing elevation and grades in the right of way itself, which also abuts our property as well as below us. So we were concerned that we hope the board doesn't consider this without a full, appropriately engineered plan. And as for our water views, the second story at 10 Fallon Way has big implications for both our enjoyment, but also our property value. The second story pretty much eliminates all first floor water views from the east side of our house. And based on the architectural plans, the elevation marks, about a third of our patio will basically be obstructed by an 8-foot to 6 to 8 inch wall of the second story. So for both those reasons, we hope the board does not approve this permit as is.
Okay, and so can you clarify where you are exactly?
Do you want to bring?
Maybe I can share the zoning map.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to do it.
For you.
I think
We're
I have
on
a view.
Fallon Way, the upper part of Fallon Way.
I have a view. If I can share the screen again, I have a view of their house.
I might be able to do it. Hang on a second. Let's see here.
If you have the plan views on
the plan views will help. The
plan views on Patriot
Okay, so
Properties.
that is their house right there where I've got the cursor.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's the wall.
This is the wall, but the proposed house has, I don't know how that would affect your views. behind the house, we have a driveway and we have a thicket.
Okay, you answer it.
And I think that their house is far enough away that, you know, the views are straight down towards the beach. And there are plenty of houses down there that are taller than the one that we're proposing. But the immediate neighbor would, their view would not be blocked because that's the street and that's their driveway at 11 Fallon. But they are talking about this property, but we're not even allowed to use that property. That's not even part of this proposal.
Jean, thank you. We're aware of all that. So I just said before we wanted to see the property. So thank you very much.
Do you want to say something?
Okay. Do you have anything else you want to add before we go on?
I guess I would add to that. First of all, you cannot separate this. The complexity of the construction of this house requires civil work and grading and retaining walls. So on both lots.
And the right of way.
And the right of way. I can't stress strongly enough that this has to be considered a complete package. This is not the kind of landscaping that happens after a house is built and you put in some shrubbery and some decorative retaining walls. These are serious, like engineered retaining walls. So,
definitely. No, wait, wall is.
I'm still talking.
Yeah, let's not talk to each other, please. You cannot do that. No, you only can talk to me as the chair, okay?
Oh, got it. Okay.
And I stop. Jean, can you stop sharing the picture, please?
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Thank you very much. Okay, go ahead.
I do have a question for Jean, though, is that I looked pretty extensively at the plans that were submitted onto the town's permit site. And it looks, I just wanted confirmation that the elevation of the highest point of the roof is about approximately elevation 53.5 feet.
Okay, Jean can answer that if you like.
Can she answer that?
Off the top of my head, I don't know what the elevation point is. I have, let me look on the drawings. The elevation, I have a dimension from average grade that I can give you. Would that be all right?
No, I took a dimension off your drawings.
Okay, let's talk to me, not to Jean. And we're not here to go into those. I just want to hear from you that you're opposing.
I guess what I'm going to say is that we've measured this above our property, and so it does obstruct the views. You can see it pretty clearly from our property. Once that house goes up, the views off the east side of our house are really impacted by the second story. And it rises about 6 feet above the top of our retaining wall, so it's pretty significant. But
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Is there anyone else who would like to speak in opposition of this project? Robin, you had your hand raised.
I am the red house that you saw right in front that's either 10 feet or on the corner 3 feet away from the structure behind me, which is 10 Fallon Way. Okay. I wrote a little thing. I'll be real fast, I promise. I have lived at James Ave for 50 years. My home is, as I said, 10 feet to 3 feet away from the structure. For those 50 years during the months.
I mean, Robin, you're directly in front of them on the beach, facing towards the beach.
Directly right in front of them. I have the house right in front, and I'm literally this far away from the corner of my bathroom and the corner of their house. And the most distance away is 6 feet. I just lost the.
Did you submit pictures or?
I submitted pictures, mostly of my basement, which looks very much like theirs.
But we didn't see any pictures with your letter, just the letter.
No, they were attached to the email. Anyway, what's happening is that the water is coming down, and I noticed that the foundation that they're going to build is going to be slanted. So it's going to even push more water into my foundation. I have my foundation on the back is fieldstone. The water right now is running through my house. It's been running through for about a week, and it'll go to about the middle of May. The fieldstone foundation has been eroded 8 inches from the concrete floor. It cannot be replaced other than raising the house and pouring a new foundation. And the Wilson brothers have told me that the house would never survive being raised. So at some point, that foundation is going to collapse on the backside. My concern is with the excavation and the digging and the weight of a 3-story house, which, let's face it, I know you say only 2 stories, but half of that basement is above the ground, is going to cause my back to wash away. And I'm curious, on slide 23, you went by it really fast, and I noticed a staircase running between my house and that house up to the left. And that is not on any plan that I've seen. So I was just curious as to what that stairwell was, because if you put that stairwell where it is on the picture on slide 23, it will be on my property.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's
my
just a
concern is
land.
my
It's just a
concern is
land. Go ahead.
no,
Sorry.
Go ahead.
It's just a landscape feature. We didn't specifically talk about stairs. It's just a way to get from their basement up to the backyard. So whether or not it's pitched, it's sloped, whatever, but part of this project is to collect all the water, the storm water, melted snow, rain, whatever, to collect it. That's why we have gutters and downspouts, and we have a dry well. We're trying to keep water off of the adjacent properties.
No, you don't understand. The water goes underneath. Excuse me, I'm talking to you. The water goes underneath that house. It does not fill the basement of the house. It goes underneath that house and goes into my basement. And it runs a really beautiful, lovely, clear stream.
Robin, I'm going to try and share a picture of the zoning map so that the assessor's map, people can see. So where's your property on here? You're directly in front on the beach side, correct?
I mean, I'm trying to figure where's James Ave.
Do you see the yellow circles? Those are the property of the applicant.
Okay, I am 417, right, literally in front of them, and I'm touching their house in that picture. The yellow line is running between my house and their house.
And so the one that says 26.75?
Yep. Okay. And if you, as I said, I see a stairwell on a plan, and I'm presuming it's going to be there. The stairwell running, if you're going to run a stairwell up from the sliding doors all the way to the patio, that's going to be completely along the whole back of my house, because the patio is the place that's 3 feet away from my bathroom wall. And the other corner where the stairwell would start is where it's 10 feet away from my house. So if that stairwell is on a plan, again, it's on a plan, and I'm just really nervous about losing my home with the construction and the water running through. I'm already losing the back foundation. And I would love to have them in the neighborhood. I think it would be really wonderful, but a 3-story house is way too big. And I don't think it's going to add to our property values at all. I think it's going to decrease them. I'm also going to lose the south sun on my yard and my patio on the other side of my house.
Okay, thank you.
And they can look in my skylights. And I'm done.
Thank you very much. And is there anyone else here who would like to speak in opposition of this project?
Madam Chair?
Yes.
My name is Attorney Lisa McGloin, and I represent Nancy Fox, who is an abutter directly next to the area where the proposed parking is, and directly across the street from this project.
Why don't you hold on a second? Let me get that thing back up. We're going to have to.
If you could screen share, I have 4 photos just to put up for you.
You can share. I have it set up so everybody can share. So
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I'm not so good at screen sharing, so you can just be patient with me. That should be an aerial of the property with 10 Fallon Way shown with a little pinpoint. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So my client's house is the house directly to the left of the white car. The area here, I think, poses several problems to my client. And as well, I do think it contradicts the zoning bylaws of the town of Nahant. I do believe that this project and this plan as proposed right now creates a more a larger non-conforming structure than what it exists presently. And I believe section 703C5 specifically states that any construction which is deemed to increase the non-conforming nature results in an increase when there's an increase in floor ratio. So I think this is deemed a larger non-conformance that currently exists according to this plan. I would also say that this is being deemed a quote-unquote paper street, and there's a plan that proposes parking here. That parking would be traveling over my client's portion of the paper street. This 10 Fallon Way was built into the paper street, and essentially this house took to the center line. As you know, Madam Chair, as an attorney, that there is ownership by my client to the center line as well, which means that any cars would have to travel over my car. The white car displayed in this photo from the GIS map, from one of the maps, which actually shows the vehicle that used to park there from the prior owner who used to park in the actual street. I'm not sure. Can you just tell me if right now I'm showing a photo of a grass with a yellow line across it? No. So let me just stop share and reshare then. The second photo I'd like to share with you is just a photo.
Okay.
Is that showing now?
Yep.
Okay. That yellow marker, or that flag, that pink flag on the right side of that photo is the pinpoint of my client's, the back point of my client's property line, which is into the grass and almost 3/4, if not almost to the back tip of the petitioner's house. All of this grass area has been maintained by the petitioner to the center line throughout the entire time her family's owned this property. So going all over this property is actually the same as going over his house, which is built into the middle line. It's trespassing. I think if I can share the next photo, I think I have to stop share and reshare. I have a photo that actually shows the end of the private way, and you will see the street here into the private way. You'll see this area where my client has a wall on the right-hand side into the paper street, and you can see how narrow that area is and how small that area is. My client is of the position that there's no way that a car that's less than a 10-foot opening can adequately drive through here and take any sort of right angle turn, never mind two cars. And in fact, in the petitioner's petition, they indicate that there's one space parking for this house. I think this is almost tantamount to going around zoning, and that I don't think there's any parking for this house. And my understanding from my client, it was advertised as having no parking when it was put out for listing. There is no parking for this house, and I believe the town of Nahant requires 2 spaces, which they're trying to do by using a lot that is not adjacent. And I do believe the parking requirements in Nahant under the zoning laws require that where possible, there should be parking on their own lot under 6.04. So my client's concern is that this is going to be bringing traffic onto her side of the private way. It's going to be bringing lights. It's going to be bringing noise. But most importantly, all of these projects have resulted in substantial water in my client's basement as well, both from up top and the side. And now that if we're trying to further grade this area, it's going to amount to more water in her property. So as far as I can tell here, the non-conformance is going to be increased. The effect on the neighbors is going to be substantial, and it's contrary to the public welfare and appropriate utilization of the land in this community for this project to go in the plan that is showed here. And that we would respectfully request that this special permit be denied based on what is before you.
Okay.
And my
Thank you
client,
very much.
Nancy Fox, is on here if you I don't know that she has anything to add, but if you want to speak to her directly.
If she has something to add, she's welcome to do so. Otherwise, I
Yeah,
don't want to.
no, I'll
I don't
just
want to hear a
quickly add.
repeat. Just don't repeat what your attorney has said. Just tell us
No,
if you have
no,
anything
gosh,
to
no. I'm just gonna say thank you for the time.
add.
Like Robin, my family's owned this house since 1976, and they've been neighbors together, and now I've owned it for about 7 years or so. So thanks for the time.
All right, thank you. If you could stop sharing, Attorney McGlenn, that'd be great. Thank you. Okay. Are there any other parties, any persons present who would like to speak in opposition of this project? Okay. So, I'll check with Jen, Robin. I'll check with Jen, but there were no pictures attached to what we received, just the email. But maybe she just forwarded it in a way that the pictures didn't get included. So I'll follow up with her, make sure everybody gets a copy.
I'll send them to Jen again. It just basically was 2 pictures of the foundation collapsing in my basement and the measurements between the corner of my house and the 10-foot area. And that was pretty much all it was,
Okay,
just as an
I'll just
example.
make sure we have them.
Okay, thank you.
I'll check with her. Okay, so if that's it for public comment, then what we're going to do now is we're going to talk amongst ourselves. And if we have any questions, any additional questions of the applicant or the architect or any other persons, we'll let you know. Okay? All right, so members, I just want to say a couple things before we get started. One of them is I circulated a case. The name of the case was Warden versus the Town of Bourne Zoning Board of Appeals. And that is a case regarding a decision on a plaintiff's motion of a summary judgment. But in it, there's some pretty good, actually, direction regarding, the derelict fee statute, which everybody here is, I'm sure, aware of already. And how, in fact, a paper street is treated when under these circumstances, when there's a street in between 2 pieces of land, and what the effect is. And as long as there are rights in that way, it looks like there is no merger under the law, as I said initially. But that's my opinion. And so I want to hear what everybody else has to say about all these things. Anybody have any comment? Cam, David, anybody? Jerry?
I don't know. I mean, I came into this with a couple. Oh, go ahead, Jerry. Sorry about that.
Go ahead, Jerry.
The site, there's 2 site plans, and that's the only concerns I have, and they're pretty vague. This second one, it doesn't show any parking on the second one, dated 1/15/26. First one that was dated 8/12/25 shows 2 parking spots, non-conforming parking spots on the right of way. So those are the only concerns I would have right now.
Okay. Cam, did you want to add to anything?
Yeah, mine was the floor area ratio piece. I mean, I had presumed we were already in violation of floor area ratio. Therefore, we would just be increasing a nonconformity. But based on what we just learned, it looks like, I don't know where that number 0.45 came from. It should be 0.41, which means that it's compliant now, and it would be going to a nonconformity. So I think that we definitely, I'd like to see the right numbers on there, or confirm the numbers. Maybe the renewed site plan or a complete site plan would help that. But it seems like we're creating new nonconformities also.
I would agree. And I have a question too. I mean, really, but amongst ourselves, not necessarily for the architect per se, but does everybody remember there was a house we decided a while back, David, you might remember, on Flash Road, where they used the prefab, much like they're describing here. And because it was a prefab construction, it was taller than necessary. It was very tall. To me, it just seems like there's a lot of massing here for this little space. And it looks, when you look at the side, I mean, it looks like a 3-unit apartment building with the three things there. I understand the first floor is supposed to be a basement, but seems pretty large. There's a lot of issues here.
When you see a 6'11" basement with like 620 square feet of open space, I mean, that kind of does cause some bells to ring.
Right. And then you've got because of the free prefab, you have a certain number of, feet between the floors and at the top of the floors. So that's just an issue usually. And so we do have some neighbor concerns here. We have issues with the retaining walls. And clearly all that needs to be straight and agreed upon before we can, in my opinion, before we can do anything. What do you think? Dave, you're there? You've been here the longest. You can let on. You might be tied up. Scott, you have anything to say?
I kind of echo your concerns about the private right away and the derelict fee statute about whether or not this proposal will lose some people's private right away with the parking lot and whatnot, the way it's proposed. So I think that's I'm a little concerned about the merger of the two lots and the two different site plans and whether or not you want to count the two lots.
Certainly, I think what we should probably do is, I think at a minimum, we should continue the matter. I hate to do that on another matter, but we need to make a decision because of the fact that we have another party waiting to hear from us. And that actually is a quick matter. I wish I could have done it first, but we have to go by dates on what's filed earlier. And so we had to do these two first. But I think that it's this is where a real lot going on here. And if I were to decide this today, I know that I would deny it. I would deny this today. It's my opinion. But
We request a continuance.
and we're still talking amongst ourselves, so just give us a
Oh,
minute.
sorry.
All right, so that's my opinion. I don't know how everybody else feels, but I want to get an idea of whether we want to offer continuance or offer a withdrawal of the plan, and ask for a resubmission. And I'm not sure if we get another plan, if it's even going to be worthwhile to the applicant to keep spending money like that. But and I also wonder too if the applicant can do anything to bring down some of this size. Number one, and number two, is there anything that can be done with the retaining walls and the neighbors? Jerry, clearly that's your area of expertise.
My concerns like the site plan, the elevation of the mass of the house. I think they can still do something with the structure, the existing structure, and get what they want. But there's they're going to have to go back to the drawing board on that. I mean, the walls and removing the whole the existing structure, and then making it, more non-conforming than what's non-conforming already. It concerns me. I think there's ways that they can still do it, but not this way, unfortunately.
So,
Hey, Jocelyn.
yes, go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, I'm back on the phone because I can't get my voice to come through. Anyway, I want to just get a clarification on the second lot on the other side of the paper street.
Yes.
So if I read that whole thing today, it was actually great reading. So that other parcel, from what I gather, cannot be used basically for any purpose in determining what we could do on the main parcel, correct?
It's my opinion, it's zoning, it's right. It's not merged.
Okay, and that's what I thought, and I was pretty sure of that. So that part we need to just take out totally. Now we're left with the one parcel that I think needs a heck of a lot more of plans and understanding of how it impacts all these other properties that are so close to it.
Yes.
I'm not comfortable at all just in giving any kind of imprimatur to something that could drastically affect other people's properties here.
Okay.
And I say could, because we don't know.
All right. So do we want to recommend a continuance or withdrawal? Let them go back to the drawing board, take their time, or do you want to keep it on the books? How do you want to handle this? Any input from anybody here?
I mean, could they get something together in the next 2 weeks? I think so.
I don't know. It's going to take some more time, I think.
They would have to have a MELA plan done to combine the lots.
Can't combine the lots, Jerry.
No, you can't do that either. No.
No.
Nope.
I mean, we could let them, okay, but somebody could appeal it, and then with this case, they could win. So there's almost no point. You know, even if we were to let them, if there was no
There's
opposition,
no point.
but there is a lot
I'd
of.
like to see them both drawn, though, at least.
Sure.
Also, I think the inspector probably needs to see this again and make a determination on an accurate floor area ratio, because I think that there might be denials that weren't included on the denial letter if he had accurate information.
Okay.
There's-
Do you think we should request
There's
that
one
this?
thing I need,
Go ahead, Dave.
one clarification I was looking for. On that other part of the property that's on the other side of the paper street,
Hmm.
can that be used for parking for the first part where they're building?
Well, let's
Can
face
that
it,
be their
sometimes
parking with-
we can allow parking, right, when it's even in another location. People sometimes lease their parking and what have you. I don't know that for zoning, you know, we have to look into that. I'm not sure, you know, how we do that.
I'm
And
just
commercial
wondering if that can be used for legitimate parking for the project that they're trying to do when we see a new plan, et cetera.
Okay. So you want to look into that, have them look into that? And also, do we want to address the massing? Or do we feel as though, and what about the issue with all these retaining walls and things like that? Do we want to require that?
I certainly think we need some sort of an engineering study done to explain how the water is going to be handled, how it's going to be, retaining walls are going to affect the other properties, especially, this is DeStefano's property that is basically contiguous to this property, to the building.
Mhm. Okay. And so we need to get more information, basically. And I think what we need to do is continue the
say-
matter then, or withdraw, either one.
David, there is a drainage plan on this, on Chuck Fair's plan, dated 1/15/26.
I saw the plan. I'm just wondering if that's really, you know, doable that way, and is it really going to work? I have no idea. I'd be interested in seeing some sort of a hydrologist, you know, engineer to, you know, verify that that's all going to work.
I don't think any of this is going to work right now, to tell you the truth.
Okay.
Okay, all right, so we have a lot of issues here. I'm gonna talk to the applicants and see what they want to do as far as withdrawing or continuing the matter.
Okay.
Because if there is an additional fee, if they reapply, which is $400, but I just don't see how they could possibly pull this together in 2 weeks. So that's just another issue. I think that if you wanna, do you wanna offer that, does everyone agree that we offer that to them? David,
Yeah.
Cam,
I
Jerry?
agree.
Yeah,
Yes,
I would be willing to continue it, but probably at a date further than 2 weeks out.
Okay, then we
I
have to
don't see how you're
schedule.
going to resolve all this.
It has to be to a date
Yeah,
certain, remember?
schedule
So,
another.
okay, but we have to pick a date
What's
then.
that?
We have to pick a date if we're gonna continue it. Do you wanna go 30
Okay,
days,
so,
1 month?
yeah, I would say 30 days is a better chance of coming up with everything we're going to be looking for.
So, do you wanna go to April 14th, the day before taxes are due? Or the 13th?
I don't care, might have done already. No, good. April 14th sounds fine to me. I don't see how
Fine.
anything could be done by March 31st.
Jerry? Is that date okay for you? Cam?
Works
Scott?
for me.
Scott?
Works for me.
Jerry, what'd you say?
I didn't hear you. You blanked out. What was the date?
April 14th, is April 14th okay for you? It's Tuesday.
6. Yeah, it should work.
All right. All right, so, Jean,
Yes.
the board has said that they are willing to do one of two things. They're willing to either vote to allow you to withdraw the matter and you can reapply, or we can continue the matter until April 14th, 3 p.m. And in the interim, we're out looking for a little bit more compliance in the areas of, so we want to see some better plans, some better site plan. Maybe, I know your engineer left, maybe you could get a new one drawn up. And also address some of the issues that were raised by the opposition today, because they do seem like real and sincere issues. And the massing is a problem, the height, and it's not over the limit. It's a massing for such a tiny place. And you are out of the, with the FAR is going to be what, 81%. And so if we can see something, maybe a draft or a drawing, something that looks like it would be more agreeable to the neighbors, that would be helpful too.
Okay.
So if you want to check with your clients, you want to confer with them, see what they want to do, or do you want to just do the continuance?
Can we continue to April 14th?
Okay. Yep. 3 p.m.
Okay.
Is it possible to ask a clarifying question?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. So as the retaining walls are not on our properties, right? And clearly those retaining walls are not working well because there was similar damage to what our neighbor has mentioned into this building. What responsibility do we have regarding the retaining walls? I mean, I understand the drainage system of the new proposed building, but we can't fix our neighbor's walls.
Right. I don't think anyone's asking you to. I think what they're saying is that if you build the property as you are proposing, it's going to affect everybody. And so what we need to figure out is how is that going to be addressed? And particularly the neighbor right in front of you, the one who's almost touched you. How is she going to be protected?
No, we understand that. So
these are things that
the clarifying question is we don't have to worry about those walls behind us.
You can't do anything about the walls behind you, correct? It's not your problem. But yourself and what you're doing, how is that going to affect other people?
Yes.
All right, so we're going to continue this matter. I want you to see what you can come up with. Does anyone else want to add to that?
I just want to clarify something about the walls. You did submit a site plan with walls on it. So I just wanted to let you know that.
Yes. So originally we were going to work for our neighbors.
Well, I understand.
Yes, to do that collaboratively.
What I'm saying is you did submit a plan with walls. That's why we had concerns about walls. So I'm just clarifying that for you now.
Okay, so submit a plan without walls, in other words.
They need a site plan.
Submit one plan. I mean, you have two site plans there.
We only submitted one. We did not submit the one with the walls. That's not part of the
I have
the middle package.
in front of me.
What are you trying to get at?
Just letting you know, I have it here. So
okay,
attached to your presentation, Jane, is what it is. It was in your presentation, and that went to all the members.
Can I say one thing? Is it possible to say one thing?
Go ahead. Sure.
Yeah.
People have been waiting for us almost an hour.
I know. I'm sorry. It just what was made available to us is only what's on the Permit Pro site. So that was that sort of hand-drawn plot plan, and then the set of architectural plans. So what Jean presented today showed a site plan by ABS. That was never part of the official.
She explained that they changed engineers midstream, and that's why they had a different plan.
Right. So I just wanted to be clear that this stuff should get posted to the town site so that we all can look at it before this meeting in a month.
Right.
So we have time to look at it, because we had an engineer do a fair amount of work looking at the quote vacant lot and the proposal for 2 parking spaces and a retaining wall that is on the Ciernos property in relationship to our retaining wall. So just need time to look at whatever they propose. Thank you.
So everyone, Jean, everybody would appreciate if we had a little time before the 14th to take a look at things. So can you get things in maybe a week prior? I know that's not a lot to ask.
We'll aim for that.
If you need more time, can you let us know? Or do you want a different date? Do you want us to go a little further out for you?
If we could lock down the 14th, but I do want to speak with my clients, and there's a possibility we might need to adjust the date. but I
Okay.
need to talk with them first.
All right, because the problem with that is we can only continue it, casually like this way.
Mhm.
Because
Okay.
this meeting has been publicly noticed, and so
Mhm.
those persons who would be present would, who are interested would be present and they would know about the continuance. We don't
Mhm. Mhm.
re-advertise for a continuance. So that's why we have to pick a date certain and stick with it. And so if that date's
Okay.
not good for you, we'd need to know now.
So if we push it out to May, is that too far out?
And if you want to go to the 14th, we can do that, but then we all have to meet. If you're not going to meet, do it and then continue it again.
Okay. I need to speak with my clients. I can't make that decision for them. I don't know what they would like to do at this point.
Okay.
So how do we?
Why don't we do this? Why don't we keep it on the 14th for now? And you let
Okay.
us know if something happens and we'll work it out, but some of us will
Okay.
have to meet that day if we're going to continue it, as I'm trying to say, because it's
Okay.
publicly noticed, so we have no choice. Okay?
Right.
All right. All right, thank you very much for your time. Have a good day.
All right. Thank you.
All right, next on the list is 49 Little Nahant Road. And this is a matter that I thank you for coming, Susan, Sherry. I can see your picture. All right, back to the 49 Little Nahant Road. Are all the parties still here? And I do apologize for the delay.
Nope, we're still here. We're still
Mr.
here.
Grund, how are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Good, good. And my understanding is that you had filed a new request because of a problem with the foundation. And I'm just going to have to read you and do this professionally and correctly. 4 p.m. hearing, now almost 4:46, a 45-minute wait. Today is March 17th, 2026, and this is a petition filed by Shelley Ziegelman, the principal architect of SWZ Architects, on behalf of Nicholas Grund, owner of the property at 49 Little Nahant Road. The petitioner seeks an amendment to a special permit granted on April 2nd, 2025, where during demolition, the structural engineer deemed the existing foundation unsafe and unserviceable pursuant to the Massachusetts Building Code. The petitioner seeks a special permit to replace the existing foundation rather than reuse it pursuant to Section 703 of the Nahant zoning bylaws. The petitioner states that the new foundation will maintain the exact footprint and the area of existing foundation. The new foundation will not increase the structure's non-conforming nature and any other zoning relief that is required as the board sees it. And so tell us quickly what happened and how are you and what's going on?
Yeah, I might let Shelley lead us through it as the architect, and then I'll add in comments.
Hi, Shelley. Sorry to keep you. What's going on?
Hi. Good afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the board. My name is Shelley Ziegelman, and I'm the architect. I'm presenting on behalf of my clients, Satyo and Nick. And I would like to begin with a brief history of this. That was a very good synopsis, but just to go over very briefly, last April, we were granted a special permit to rebuild from the foundation up 49 Little Nahant Road. And during the demolition phase, we found that the foundation was unviable, and that was in late December. The structural engineer, as you quoted, said it is unsafe and unserviceable. Demolition was halted at that time, and together with the structural engineer and later the excavator, we looked at many things on the site and reviewed options to either reinforce and reuse the existing foundation or rebuild it. And we looked at many options and learned that during that time that the footings were also unstable and unsound. And so therefore we realized that our only option was to rebuild. Today, given this history, we're requesting a special permit that's kind of like an amendment to our initial special permit, except I understand that it's a brand new foundation. The new foundation will maintain the existing footprint as said in the synopsis and will not increase the non-conforming nature of the house. It will safely support and meet all code requirements. And there are no changes to the design that was submitted last April. The neighbors during the first special permit hearing were all informed and were very supportive of the project. the foundation reconstruction impacts one neighbor, the neighbor to the left at number 51, because the property line is closest on that side. And I'm going to hand it over to Nick to talk about the discussions he's having with Jane, who is at number 51. But otherwise, the neighborhood impact should be, just the same as before.
Before we go to Nick, Shelley, can I ask a question? Did you take into account, I saw that there was some sheet, looked like the foundation, it does not, I didn't see any big vents like we usually see. Are you gonna have to do any vents?
In the foundation?
Yeah, so for
Okay,
FEMA compliance?
Good. That's a very good question and right into the weeds. The foundation, the half of the foundation facing the water is a room, and it will have heating and cooling. And the crawl space that you're asking about being ventilated will be heated and cooled through, will open up an area so it is taken care of and it's going to be mechanically taken care of.
So you don't have to comply with FEMA where you are. You don't have to be in a flood zone at all.
She's in the buffer.
You're in the buffer zone, right? Okay.
In
I
the
couldn't
buffer.
tell from my FEMA map, but you're in a buffer there.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're in the buffer.
So that means you need a flow through, right? So the
We
water
can-
needs through it.
There can be windows and vents. That is, yes.
Blow.
Currently, there are windows. There are no vents.
And your setback is 3 feet on one side, 2 feet on the other.
Right, and that's what Nick will speak to, the side where it's 2 feet.
Okay. Let's hear from Nick, and then we'll ask anything.
Yeah, and so
Yeah, and go ahead, Nick. I'm sorry.
So the property that is in the 2 feet is the 51 Little Nahant Road, owned by Jane Delorier. We've been working with Jane through a number of conversations. Under the previous special permit, we actually had to enter into an access agreement with the 51 Nahant Road property owner that allowed us to get access to her property to be able to do siding and roofing, etc. In our conversations with Jane, she is concerned about us digging into her property because 2 feet is not enough to be able to create a safe zone for the workers to lay the foundation. It has to be 3 feet. And so we would dig into her property by about a foot. We've agreed verbally, we haven't revised the access agreement yet, to replace shrubbery, restore it to its original form, etc. But I want to make the board aware that those negotiations are in process with Jane, and we haven't come to a acceptable resolution with her as to allowing us future access. The conversations have been constructive. They're progressing. I expect to have a positive outcome to them. But the impact to Jane's property is considerable. She spent a lot of time working on her home over the last, we'll call it, dozen years. And she is concerned around those things that she wants to make sure it's papered appropriately and the impact to her is taking into consideration through the site agreement or the access agreement. And so to make the board aware, they're constructive, but we're not done with them.
Right. Obviously, that would have to be a condition of anything that we did. Okay, is there anything else that you need to say? You or your architect? You guys are good?
We'll just open it up to questions.
Okay.
Thank you.
So any questions from the board before we move to public comment?
Josh, I'm just confirming, this project is not changing at all from what we previously approved. It's just going to have a new foundation.
Correct. I can put
That's fine. I just wanted to make sure I was understanding that correctly.
yeah.
And another thing is, so you're in the buffer zone. Do you still need to go back to conservation?
Conservation has approved it. It just has not been filed yet. I found that out today.
And when are you gonna get a letter of approval from your neighbor? Sorry.
I'm sorry, could you
When
say
are
that
you-
again?
When are you gonna get approval by your neighbor to dig into her property, like a letter, a confirmation letter or something?
Yeah, we're going to actually have a formal access agreement that lays out 2 different phases to the project. One of the phases was what we've already agreed to for the siding and the roofing, and the add-on piece is for the digging into her property and the replacement back to its current form. All of the attributes that we impact with the digging. Obviously that's the easiest path forward, frankly, in terms of where we go, because if we can't dig into our yard, there are other means for which we can dig in a foundation that may not impact our property, but obviously those are much more expensive and require other impacts as well. And so I think our easiest course is to get Jane's approval. We hope to have that soon. We would love to start as soon as possible. As you can imagine, we thought we'd be well on our way to being completed at this point, and we're still at the demolition phase, if we want to put it that way. And so Jane has been working with us. She's got some vacation time, I think, planned over the next couple of weeks. We have an access agreement proposal ready to go to her. I do think we're in the final negotiation of how to make sure that it impacts her to the minimal extent.
Okay. All right. Any more questions for the applicant from the board?
I don't have any.
Scott, did you have any questions?
No, I don't have any questions. I wasn't
Okay.
here first for the approval, so I'll defer to you guys.
All right, Cam, Jerry? Anybody? Okay. All righty. Is there public comment? Is there anyone here to speak in either favor or in opposition of this project? Of the amendment to the project? I don't see anybody raising hands or anything. Okay. All right, hearing none, we're going to move on to our deliberations. My understanding of this, because it's an amendment and it's really already, it's a special permit under 703. All we need to do is make a determination that has been represented to us, that there is no new nonconformity. And we can make that a condition, of course. And I think we should also make it a condition, if we do allow the amendment to the special permit, that they must have the compliance of, an agreement of the neighbor at 51 Little Nahant Road. Does anyone want to bring a motion to that effect? Was there any discussion?
I will move to do that. I will move to do that. I think I'd like to see that you actually get a construction easement from 51 Little Nahant Road. So there's no doubt that that it's being done properly.
He's getting an access agreement, which would be, like a temporary easement, and what he's saying is
Okay, I mean, all right, I don't know if there's a difference between a construction easement and an access easement, that's all.
Well, an easement's an easement, but there's all different kinds of easements. I read one time there's as many different kinds of easements as there are lawyers. Might be true.
I'm not going there.
And we'd be happy to provide the committee with copies of those if required.
Well, it's a private agreement between you two, but as long as you guys are in agreement, I guess that's kind of all we care about, right?
Right.
Anyone else have anything else they want to add to that?
Second.
Cam has seconded it. Any discussion on the motion? Okay. So David, can you tell me what your actual motion is? Can you give me the verbiage so I have it correctly? You have a motion to allow amendment to the special permit?
Motion to allow the construction of the what do you call it, of the foundation under the original plans that we approved back last May. And there were no other changes to the property.
And no new nonconformities. That's what you're saying.
That's correct. And yes, correct.
And it's conditioned upon coming into full agreement with the neighbor at 51 Little Nahant?
Definitely, yes.
May I ask a clarifying question?
Sure.
There is a scenario where we don't come to agreement and we change the method of digging that does not require a 3-foot barrier where it will not impact 51 Little Nahant's property. It's significantly more expensive for us to do that, so we think this is the best course of action. But in the, I'll call it small likelihood that we do not receive agreement with Jane, we can still do it in a way that under the original access agreement, we can still make it work. It's just, we'll call it $100,000 more expensive. And so we'd much prefer not to do it that way. And so we're proposing to get the agreement with Jane. But if that doesn't come, there's a way to do it without getting her agreement under the original. And I just want to make sure that I want to understand whether that means we were required to come back here or not. And if we're required, that's great. We're happy to do that. But I just want to have clarity.
Right. So, all right. Well, so we'll phrase it. How about if we phrase it that it would be conditioned upon agreement with the neighbor next door, 51 Little Nahant Road, if necessary. If, in other words, if necessary. Cam, how do you feel about that?
That sounds good to me.
He's the other lawyer on the group, so I ask him. And Scott, too. He's new.
If required to accomplish the work, something along those lines.
Yeah, we understand there's an existing access agreement, but you may need to modify it. Just keep her really happy. That's a cute house, 51. I almost bought that years ago. All right. So who,
yeah, Jane's been a great neighbor. I don't expect us to have any challenges. So
good. Good. All right. So I think we're all set. I just need a motion to grant special permit and make a finding that this change will not be more detrimental to the neighborhood. Does anyone want to bring a motion for that?
Also move.
Okay.
David Walsh.
Second.
So that was David and Cam. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor?
Aye, David Walsh.
Aye, Gerardo Raphael.
Aye, Cam Merrill.
Aye, Scott O'Frias.
And I, Justin Campbell. Okay. And lastly, a quick motion to grant special permit.
Okay, I'll move that we grant the special permit.
Okay. And second by
Second, Cam Merrill.
Cam Merrill. And any discussion on the motion? All in favor?
Aye, David Walsh.
Aye, Gerardo Raphael.
Aye, Cam Merrill.
Aye, Scott O'Frias.
And I, Justin Campbell. Okay, Mr. Glenn, you're all set.
Thanks so
We'll
much.
get the minutes filed and get that right away.
Madam Chair, may I ask one last question? Because this is a similar special permit to our special permit, when would we be able to resume construction? How many days do we have
It's
to
supposed to
wait?
be a 20-day wait. I actually already have the minutes drafted.
Oh, you're the
I
best.
did them this morning because I'm just assuming what was going to happen. I have to put the votes in and then I can file it.
Okay.
So, give me 24 hours to do that. But then there's a 20-day appeal period. You have to check with the building department to see if they'll allow you to start before then. I don't know if they will. Probably not, but you can ask them.
Okay, so we will get that agreement together in those 20 days.
Yes.
Great.
All right.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Have a good day. Sorry
Thank
for the
you.
delay. And do we need a motion to adjourn? I'll bring a motion. Motion to adjourn the ZBA hearing for today, March 17th. Is everybody in agreement?
Second.
Seconded. Any discussion on the motion?
Nope.
Nope.
No.
Goodbye. Thanks, everybody.
Fixed day.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Thank you.
Right.